Hey guys, welcome to another video. Uh, a lot of videos are going to be uploaded in the upcoming weeks are videos that a lot of other English-speaking trans people have done, probably, and I've watched a lot of myself, but I still feel like I want to do my own take on it, my own feelings towards it. And since I'm also doing Cantonese versions of these videos, I might as well keep doing the English ones just to keep my channel balanced because the reason why I'm doing the Cantonese ones is because there's not really that many Cantonese resources for this kind of thing. So today we're taking a look at 10 questions to ask yourself to help identify your feelings and if you really are trans or not. Especially the last one. That was the one that was one of the questions that really triggered something in my mind, really triggered something to make me think, hey, actually, yeah, I totally get it now. And that was one of the questions that partially solidified my resolve to go on this life path. So, question number one, do you find yourself liking or relating to women in your life more for reasons other than sexual or romantic interests? I think this is very important. Surely you could be a lesbian too and find girls attractive if you're yourself. I mean, for sure, if you become a woman and you like women too, you could be a lesbian, that's totally fine, or you're non-binary or something. But I think for the point of this question, it says other than sexual um, or romantic interests. If you have a lot of interests that are similar as women, or do you have maybe you envy them or something like, hey, what if I'm like her? What if I'm the same as her? Like, do you constantly think about something like that? Doesn't this question doesn't necessarily mean you're trans or anything. You could just like girl stuff, like you're a feminine guy. It could be, but this is just I think one of those good starting point questions that you can ask yourself. And I've asked myself that too. And for me, my answer is yes, of course. I look at women. I like oh, I like those clothes, I like those shape, like the body shape, like, and me, I find women attractive, so I'm like, you're sexy, and how do I be like you? Like, which comes to the second one, have you ever envied the opposite gender? And this is my personal question, and me, it's always yes. I see a woman with boobs, I see her hips, I see the heels she's wearing, dresses and everything, I'm like, I really want to look good wearing the same clothes. And so that's, for me personally, like, yes, please. Number three, do you feel comfortable or confident in your current body, including sexual activities? Now, me in the past, as a boy, I was fine with my sexual activities, but I never got that full joy from it. Like, I wanted to know more, to experience more, and it wasn't just about actually experiencing love. I mean, when I had a girlfriend who loved me, that was great and stuff, but when it was just sexual encounters, I was like, it's whatever. It may be fun at the moment, but afterwards, I was like, I don't know, like, what was that? And just being comfortable in my body, no, I was so shy. I didn't want to take my shirt off. Like, no matter what gym and weights and stuff, I could do push-ups, I could do pull-ups just fine. And yet, I was like, oh, I must have a six-pack to feel good about myself or something like that. So overall, I wasn't happy with my body. Number four, do you feel like all of your accomplishments under your current male name are wasted in some respect? Do you feel like your life is at all not currently yours or that it belongs to someone else? Now, I never felt that. This is a no for me. Like all of my accomplishment when I was a boy, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of what I did. I'm proud of the type of person I became. Sure, I made mistakes on the way, but that's part of who I am. Even now that I've transitioned, I still feel like the past is part of me. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, you might not necessarily answer the same way as everyone needs. So, a lot of these questions is kind of like, how many of these questions do you feel a certain way? So, me, no. But in some ways, I think question four is, do you ever feel like you're living a lie? You're trying to pretend to be someone and not yourself. Number five, 10 years from now, how do I see myself? Well, there were a lot of times for me personally when I was having some chats with my first girlfriend and she was really comfortable with her, even after we broke up, we were like, siblings. I was going to tell like, what if I was like this in the future? What if I could do this? And it was always like if I was female. So it's like, do you ever imagine or fantasize or daydream yourself in the future and that you're the opposite gender? It could even be like, if you ever play a video game where you can choose your character, do you choose your gender or an opposite one? Would you prefer the opposite one? Number six, when you look in the mirror and see a male face, a male body staring back at you, how do you feel about that? Does it feel like something is out of place? So that's like, that's part of how comfortable do you feel in your own body and how happy you are to see a guy looking back at you or a woman looking back at you, depending on what gender you're born with. And for me, when I was a boy, I was never happy looking in the mirror. I just never felt handsome, never felt good. I was just like, yeah, whatever, ugly. Bleh. But now, after transition, I always look in the mirror and I'm always like, smile. Like, I'm happy. Look in the mirror, I'm like, yay. I remember the first time I saw, during my transition, first time I saw finally like a female looking back at me. Like, I finally transitioned. After I felt the person in the mirror was femme, I was so happy. I started crying out of joy. I started jumping on the spot like a kid. And it was the best feeling ever. So how do you feel when you look in the mirror currently? And I think this is a very simple question. Number 7, what would make you happy? Because at the end of the day, when it all comes down to it, what would make you comfortable? What would make you feel like your real self? What makes you happy? Like, are you happy now as your current sex, gender? Like, are you happy how society sees you, or how you're addressed, and how people call you, how people relate to you? Like, are you happy? And think it's, are you truly happy? Like, you ever get to that point where you just, this is great, or are you just like, yeah, it's fine, those are different. Number 8, do you feel like you're fighting thoughts about being transgender in daily life? Do you worry that people will discover that you're too vocal supporter of transgender people and that they'll treat you badly because of assumptions they make from that? Do you feel people finding things among your belongings, on your personal history, and drawing conclusions from that? Me, it was a yes. I was too afraid to watch anything girly in public, like Sailor Moon or something. I was too scared to play with Barbie dolls or something because that's what girls play with. Like, I'm a boy, I'm not going to do that. There's a lot of things in my life where I pushed all the feminine stuff away. Like, don't call me cute. Like, I'm a guy. Like, I'm strong and stuff. I'm not cute. So there's me a lot of conflict of pushing that stuff away, as well as constantly thinking, what if I was a girl? What if I did this now? What if I took my transition now? Like, what if? I always kept asking myself throughout my life, do you have the same experience? Number 9, if you could be anyone tomorrow when you woke up, what gender would you be? Or what person would you be? And there was a time in life where I saw this question and I was like, okay, ask myself, if I could wake up tomorrow and be anyone I wanted, it would have been a girl. I was like, can I just wake up and be a girl now and not be my old self? That'd be nice. Not necessarily a different life, but maybe I could have grown up different. Maybe I could have grown up in Philippines and Thailand where it's much more common, and I could have transitioned when I was 20. I had lots of regrets and hopes, and yeah. And the last one really got to me when I was asked this question, when I watched the video with this question. If you had a magic button that you could press, which would take away all of these feelings you have about wanting to be a desired gender, would you do it? And that would be the easy thing, wouldn't it? If you just push a button and be like, you're just a generic cis and a woman straight. Social norm. If you can press a button, just become that. Become what people call normal, usual. Would you do it? And I thought about that for a moment, like as easy as life would be just to get rid of all of those ideas and thoughts. I didn't want to remove my desires to become a woman. I just didn't. I was just like, if I had that button, no, I wouldn't press it. If I could restart life now, if I was in heaven and God's like, you got another chance at life, would you do it? Like, would you change that? I'd be like, no, because that was a part of me and I didn't want to get rid of it. And right now, I'm very proud of the person I am. I'm very proud of how I treat other people and how I live my life. I don't want to change that. As easy as life would become, no, I want to keep my real self, to keep being my real self. So that was the question that really triggered me, to know that, to put me on the right path, that I knew this is what I was going to do at some point. So, yeah, how do you find these questions? You can leave a comment below on how you feel about them, maybe, or maybe you disagree with some of these questions, or maybe after answering all of them, you might have realized, maybe I'm not trans after all, maybe I'm not, whatever. Leave a comment below and tell me how you think. We can always talk about this kind of stuff, and as always, take care, have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!